joined by Israel's Foreign Minister, Mr. Gideon. Thank you very much. I know these are difficult times and you're taking out this moment to speak with us. We're very honored to have you, Foreign Minister, on our show. Can I begin by asking you some straightforward, direct questions? All of this, of course, happening on the back of the Prime Minister of India's visit to Israel. The Prime Minister has publicly affirmed Israel's right to defend itself. Do you interpret India's position as political backing for your offensive against Iran for this specific operation, or only for defensive action against direct attacks, sir?
First of all, we deeply appreciate the friendship with India, with Prime Minister Modi, but it's Prime Minister Modi and Dr. Jaishankar as Foreign Minister who will speak publicly on behalf of India. I'm speaking on behalf of the State of Israel. And I know that while speaking with you, the people of India know exactly what is terrorism. And when we are speaking about Iran, we are speaking about the #1 exporter of the world of terrorism, the #1 finance support for terrorism. So it is a crucial battle against terrorism to create a safer and a more stable Middle East.
Mr. Shah, when Prime Minister Modi visited Israel last week, was he briefed, even in broad terms, about the imminent operation that was being conducted by Israel and the United States? And one other small question associated with that. I know that I must ask you this because it is important in the context. Do you believe that he wanted to play some sort of a mediatory role? Did you ask him to do so?
Again, I believe that questions to Prime Minister Modi should be addressed directly to him. I don't want to speak on his behalf, but I just wanted to make it clear. Prime Minister Modi had a great and successful visit in Israel. The love of the people of Israel, the parliament, the Knesset of Israel, and the government to him was shown very explicitly. But I want to emphasize the fact that the decision to go to the operation was taken by our security cabinet early Saturday morning while Prime Minister Modi left Israel on Thursday. So even if we wanted to, we couldn't brief him on that while he was visiting Israel.
China says, and I know that you have got a statement also on this, China says negotiations between Washington and Tehran were making progress. Significant progress is the exact word they've used. And even factoring in Israeli concerns. This is what China says. If diplomacy was advancing, do you think that the strikes were needed, sir? Could more time have been given for diplomacy?
Well, the Americans gave time to diplomacy as much as they did it before the June operation. But unfortunately, Iran refused for the demands for zero enrichment and to take out the materials, enriched materials from Iran, and also refused to deal at all with regard to their long-range ballistic missiles program and to their terror proxies in the Middle East. Actually, there are already terror states, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas. So the Americans themselves recognize that the Iranians are trying to waste time. They are not interested in solving these issues, but to waste time, to gain time. And finally, while we understood that their intention is to very soon take all the nuclear program, substantial and relevant elements to a very deep underground facility, we understood we must act, because if they would have done so, and it was a matter of a short time until they would do so, they were immune. You couldn't strike this facility by any Air Force because it is too deep underneath the ground. So we needed to act, and we needed to act now. Of course, if we could have achieved things by diplomacy, the Americans always preferred that, but unfortunately, the Iranians were not a good partner for that.
Now, Minister, Trump says it was a preemptive strike because the Ayatollah wanted to get me, but I got him first. These were his words. So what was it really? Do you believe that the Ayatollah had planned an assassination strike on Trump and it was imminent?
First of all, there was an attempt by Iran to assassinate President Trump in the past, as you know. And secondly, in terms of preemptive, I also deal with what they intended to do. Because if they would have got nuclear weapons, they would clearly feel immune, and they would feel they can do everything without a proper retaliation from the international community. And that was too bad, because as you see now in the Gulf states, you see that they already attacked some 8 countries which hadn't done anything to them, including Qatar and the Emirates and the Saudis and so on. And also Cyprus was hit, I don't know if by Iran itself or by their proxy, the Hezbollah. But eventually, Iran is dangerous to all its neighbors in the Middle East. And as we saw last January, they are also very dangerous to the Iranian people themselves, which they butchered by thousands and thousands and thousands when they try to protest there. So it is a very dangerous regime. This regime should change for the benefit and for the stability and peace of the Middle East and much beyond the Middle East.
A top newspaper has come out and said that you were able to wipe out the Ayatollah and his inner circle in one go because you were actually tracking traffic cameras. You had somehow managed to get into the traffic cameras, so you knew exactly where he was. Can you confirm that? Was that exactly how this happened?
No, sorry, I will not refer to that, and I will not refer to anything right or wrong, which is operational. We have a good intelligence and good Air Force. This is something that I can confirm.
Well, it was excellent intelligence because you managed to take him out and most of the leadership. So, well, congratulations, because that was
I want to make it clear, everyone who is ordering attacks against Israel, terror against Israel, and in the case of this regime, they prepare the elimination of Israel, will not be safe anywhere, because we will not wait until they will do what they plan to do. We will get them first.
Well, that was an audacious strike, no doubt. That was, of course, your objective. Is Israel's objective capability degradation, or is it regime change, sir?
I want to explain that. Our wish, our goal is to remove for the long run, for a long term, not for a few months or a year, the existential threats from Iran. But we realize, and we learned it, that it is probably impossible to achieve it with the current regime in Iran. And we don't want to go to a new war every year. So this is why it is probably essential to have a regime change in Iran. This regime change can happen during the campaign, or it can happen after the campaign. But the most important thing is to create the conditions for the people of Iran, which we saw how they fought bravely for their freedom. And it is true, we cannot do it. The Iranian people would do it. But also it is true that without an external help, the Iranian people will not be able to do it. They will simply be butchered, as we saw in the recent past and in other cases in the past.
Well, you fought a war with Iran last year, and that ended in 12 days. The regime stayed on in place, and it also, as you know, and you've just said yourself, was managed to put down the protests against it. So I want to ask you, can there be regime change without boots on the ground, sir?
It's a good question. Eventually, in the previous war last June, our goal was not a regime change. It was limited then on June to significantly harm their nuclear program and the ballistic missiles program, and we were successful with the objectives we put to ourselves. Now it is different, since we saw that even what happened in June is not changing anything with regard to the path that this regime is going, the elimination of Israel, and the means to do that by terror proxies, nuclear weapons, and long-range ballistic missiles. So now the objective is different. Whether it is possible without boots on the ground, it's a very good question, but I believe the boots on the ground should be first the boots of the Iranian people themselves. They should take their future in their hands and meet this opportunity we are now creating for them. We will do our utmost to create the conditions for this will, which we recognize is very strong among the Iranian people, with our American allies.